Some Russian urban legends are real after all.
There are not many Russian urban legends. Not that we lack any imagination. I guess our minds are usually occupied with more real horrors to conjure up something unreal. And yet, there's a legend about a creature that dwells on the streets of Moscow. A thing that can only be met during the dead of the night, and at first can be confused for a streetlight or a tree, mostly due to how unusually long its limbs are. On the internet, it is known as Palochnik, or Stickman in English. Don't be fooled. Despite having such a dull and uninspiring name, I think it is one of the most horrific urban legends. Because unlike other myths, this one is very much real. And I'm not saying it because I'm easily influenced by some scary internet stories. I have seen with it my very own eyes 10 years ago, long before other mentions of it started showing up on the web. Back then I was only 15 and was still attending school. I was one of the lucky ones in that I lived in the same building as my friend. You're probably thinking of one of those apartment blocks, but in reality it was, and still is, a large building in the form of a circle. As far as I know, it's the only one of that kind in the whole country. There was a large yard with playground, pedestrian walks, and garages in the middle. He lived across the yard, and our windows overlooked it. So sometimes during the evening, we'd pull out our laser pointers and play a game where we'd try to hit each other in the eye. The laser pointers were not powerful enough to create a beam that would cross that distance without dissipating, but we still liked to pretend that our game mattered. And of course, we would often visit each other to play games on our old Pentiums, with one of us watching the other one play, hoping that he would fail soon and it would be time to switch places at the desk. One spring evening, I was watching some movie when my phone vibrated. Almost instinctively, I knew it was him. We'd get in touch every day, and on that particular evening, he was still to reach out to me. I turned out to be correct. I had one new SMS message from him. I expected him to invite me over or suggest we play Counter-Strike, but his message caught me off guard. "Dude, look out the window, right now." Confused, I did what he asked me to do. I could make out his faint silhouette in a familiar window across the street. I thought I saw him moving, waving his hands, but I couldn't make out what exactly he was trying to do. The phone vibrated again. "Below, in the yard. Do you see it?" I looked down, but I didn't anything worthy of attention. What was all the fuss about? "What? I don't see anything," I messaged him back. 30 seconds later, his reply arrived. "There, by the garages. Do you see him?" This time I was determined to see what got him so worked up, so I squinted and started looking. The streetlights were already on, illuminating the street below with their unwashed yellow light bulbs, so I didn't see him immediately. Streetlights, garages, trees. The unfamiliar shape caught my eye. Looking out that window since my birth, I knew every inch down below, so something new would not escape my gaze even with the lights being so dim. I'm sure my friend noticed him due to precisely the same reason. He was easy to miss. His long limbs and extremely thin stature making him look almost like a pole. Only, it couldn't be a man, could it? I looked at the tree next to him to get the reference. There was no mistake. The mysterious figure was at the very least 3 meters tall. "I see it." "Dude, what is it?" I asked, my imagination already going wild. While the childhood side of me wanted to be something creepy so that I could brag about it in school the next day, deep inside I knew that it couldn't be something alive. In my mind, it was most likely some weird installation, and my mind was playing tricks on me, telling me that it was something humanoid. The message that arrived 30 seconds ago wiped the smile from my face. "I don't know, man, but you should see it walking." I looked out the window again. The figure was still there. Was my friend messing with me? The figure was in a slightly different position than before. "Did you see it move?" a new message asked me. "No, it didn't," I wrote back. Then I saw it move. Despite how far away it was, it instantly became clear that it wasn't a person. Its movements were sharp, quick, and fluent at the same time. It wasn't just a step. It was like its limbs simply transitioned from one state to another. Yet even from the distance, I caught on how its long, frail legs were bending in too many places, how abnormally it was shifting its weight. Finishing its movement, it froze in place again, completely immobile. I guess it really was trying to pretend to be a lamppost. My phone beeped again. "Did you see it? So cool! I'll go grab my dad's camera." Perhaps the reasonable thing would be to stop him, to tell him not to stick his neck out. But I was a kid, so I had different priorities. "Is it digital?" I typed into my phone, more concerned whether he'd be able to share the photos. I knew that it was something supernatural at that point, maybe even dangerous. But I was high up in my apartment, gleeful about how awesome it would be to show off the photo of that thing in school the next day, and it was down below. How could I even fathom that despite the distance that was between us, it could still pose a threat? How could I know that it could climb the walls? I received another message from my friend. "Got it." I looked out the window, and sure enough, his silhouette was back there, with a big professional camera in his hands, about to make the last photo in his life. Had he known how to operate the camera, he'd figured that using a flash at such a distance was pointless. But his father forbade him to even touch it, fearing that the boy might damage it by accident. And when he pushed the button, the mighty flash illuminated the entire yard. The creature reacted instantaneously, its head snapping back to look at where the flash was coming from. Then, it started walking backward, toward my friend, its head still turned 180 degrees. Its knees were flying high up in the air, and its body never turned around as it was walking. Only the limbs did, one at a time, without interrupting the creature's pace for a moment. My friend's silhouette disappeared. No doubt he hid from the creature, alerted by its approach. I got a message full of panic from him. "Oh shit, I think it saw me." The creature was getting taller with each step, its legs stretched out, and each step was longer than the last. It was picking up the pace, walking as fast as it was possible without breaking into a run. When it approached the wall, it grabbed it with its two hands, and then in one short leap lifted itself onto it with unnatural ease and started crawling upwards like some four-legged spider. It seemed like gravity didn't bother it in the slightest. "I'm in my closet. Is it still there?" was the last message my friend sent me before it crawled through his window. I could only see its shadows as it started quickly moving inside his room. I didn't know what it was doing to him. To this day, nobody does. I only know that by the time it was finished, my friend was gone. I remember suddenly recognizing its silhouette in the square of his window. I could clearly see it pick something up from the floor. Then, it turned its head in my direction, and I fell to the floor, hiding from its sight. "It's got his phone," I thought in panic. Surely it couldn't know how to use it, right? It couldn't see that my friend was discussing seeing it with someone. But when I carefully peeked out, the creature wasn't in my friend's room anymore. It was already striding in my direction. The creature gained an unsightly bloated sack under its stomach that was shaking when it was moving. I fell to my knees and quickly crawled out of my room, locking myself in the bathroom. In my panic, I didn't think to call my parents who were sitting in another room, watching some sitcom. I simply couldn't see how they could help in that situation. I spent there a good hour before my father decided to check up on me and, upon entering my room, started angrily demanding that I come out of the bathroom and clear the mess in my room. When I stepped inside, the realization of what had transpired finally surfaced through the shock, and I started crying in fear. My father comforted me, but he was very confused. He couldn't understand why my window was open and all the contents of my closets were on the floor. But to me, there was no doubt about it. If I had stayed in the room, if I hid in the closet like my friend had, there would be 2 missing person cases. My friend's body was never found, but I did find out that there were other people like me. That other people on the internet saw it too. There are photos and even videos, so I know that it's still out there, looking for its next meal, and probably looking for me. So I have to be ready. To this day, I avoid lampposts and tall trees at night. To this day, I fear that I might not wake up. And to this day, despite living on the 11th floor, whenever I look out the window, I still fear to see its blank face.